All right, now that we have our whole block base set up and we've created our drawing sheet so we can watch what we're doing, we're going to start drilling some holes. So you can see we have 11 different holes we're going to drill, and then each one up here, if you look at this, it tells me the hole notes. So based on those notes that we went over in class, each one of these things tells me exactly what to drill down here. We've already set the position. That's one thing you need to know. And now we need to know how big and how deep that we need to make that hole. So let's jump to some of the more difficult ones because it will cover everything that you need to know for the easier ones. So I'm going to jump to number 5 here. So I'm going to go to point number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's this one here. So you can go up to hole, click hole up here at the top, and then you can go down to the 5th one. You're going to click on the point, and then you just click on the face that tells me I'm drilling it through, and it starts drilling my hole for me. Now in number 5, if I look here for this one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is this hole note right here. And I know it might be a little hard to see, but it says the diameter is 0.5 an inch to a depth of 1.25 inches. It's a countersink, and that countersink has a diameter of 0.88 inches and 60 degrees. Okay, so let's look at all those things. Okay, so up here we just have a simple hole. We have a clearance. We're really not doing any clearance here. Or we have a tap. So it's either going to be simple or tapped. Now this has no threads on it, so it's just going to be a simple hole. This next part tells me is it a counter bore. We're not going to use spot face or countersink. And if you look, this has the little countersink symbol next to it. You can see on the picture, it's a countersink. So we're going to put the countersink in. Okay, now we have to come down here and tell how it's going to work. Is it going to terminate at a certain distance? Yes. Or is it going to go all the way through? It doesn't go all the way through. That would be the second one. So we're going to keep the termination. The direction, it's already the right way. It's going down into the block. And then does it want a flat drill point or a pointing? Right? Here's a pointing drill point. Here's a flat one. Okay, so we're going to do the flat one. And then we have to tell all the different parts about it. So up here at the top, this is the countersink, and this is the diameter of the countersink. So if we look up here, remember it was 0.88 inches. So we're going to change this to 0.88 inches. And then it said it was at 60 degrees. So we're going to change this instead of 82. We're going to make ours 60 degrees. Okay, the next part, how deep is it from top to bottom? Well, it told me up here that the depth was 1.25. So we're going to type in 1.25. And then this one here is what's the diameter of the hole, not of the countersink, but actual the hole. And that was 0.5. So we're going to change this to 0.5. And then when everything is good, you can just say, okay. If you want to do another one, you can just hit the plus, and it'll just keep you in the whole window here, and then we can just continue on with the next one. So I'm going to hit plus, because we're going to do another one, and we've made our hole. Now if we want to check, because it's kind of hard to see if it looks right, if we jump over here, you can see it drilled the hole for us. And we can see that looks just like this picture here. So we think, okay, we probably did it right. So let's go back to here. And then I'm going to jump up, and we're going to go to number 8 because it has a lot of different stuff on it too. Okay, so if we jump to number 8 here, let's go look at it. So we're doing our next hole. So we're going to go to 6, 7, 8, the 8th dot. We're going to click the dot. Then we're going to click the face we're going to drill into. And now we have to decide what's going on with this one. Okay, so it's this guy here. So it's got threads on it. You can see the threads, and it says right here, this 1/2-18 Unified National. Okay, so that tells me it's a thread, and it's of the English or U.S. customary units. Okay, so we're going to go to threaded. So it's not a simple hole now, but it's threaded. Okay, so that's the tapped. And then at the top, if you look, it's got a counter bore, not a countersink. The countersink is the angled one. So we can go back here to counter bore. Okay, now we're going to go out here. It told it had threads, so look, it already told me these things. So there's the Unified National, right? So that part's good. Now if we wanted something different, if we wanted metric, we can go pick metric, but this one's not. And then the size. The size is the diameter. So we have to go back and look at the diameter. The diameter was 1/2, right? Remember the first number in the thread notes tells me that it's 1/2. Okay, so it's a 1/2 inch. Well, that's where I'm at, so that's good. And then so it says 1/2 13 UNC. No, I want a 1/2 18 UNS. So I gotta go under here and look for the 1/2 18 UNS. There it is. So I just select it. And it says it's class 2B. We haven't talked about that. Don't worry too much about that. And then it tells me the depth of the thread, because these are the thread notes, is 0.75. So the thread part is just 0.75. So So we're going to go down here to this. We look over here for the thread that's this side. So we said it was 0.75. Okay, so we got that. Now we got to look, there's a whole bunch of other things going on here. The counterbore is 0.88 inches, quarter inch, 0.25 deep. So if we look here, 0.88, oh, well they already got that for us, perfect. And then the depth, 0.25, we already got that. So they already set that for us, that was good. Okay, just happened to be, a standard, so it worked out for us. Okay, the next thing, it doesn't tell me the depth of the whole screw, but we know this is 1.5 and it's the same depth as this little shelf that we're working at. So make the main depth 1.5. Okay, the only thing we've missed is, this has the pointy bottom, not the flat bottom. So we gotta go do this here and do the angled bottom. Now when we look, I think we have everything set. So we're gonna say, okay, I'm just gonna finish because this is my last example. So I'm gonna say, okay. And there's my hole. And if we wanna go check it, boom, there it is. You can see, if we zoom in, you can see those threads. Okay, if your threads and things aren't showing, then you can double click here and make sure you've done the shaded. Okay, if you don't do the shaded, I'll show you what it looks like. It would just look like this. Okay, so just double click here and click shaded, say okay, and now you can see that those threads are there. See them? All right, and that looks just like what we're supposed to have. So we're all good. All right, so in the next video, I will go over how to add these little thread notes and add all those dimensions.